Today I'm going to talk about some of the developments that have been going on in the pharma biotech world with respect to vaccines. The big news that came from Moderna about a week or so ago was that they aren't going to invest in late stage vaccine trials anymore. What does that mean? It means that they're not going to develop infectious disease products. They've got their COVID vaccine, they've got their RSV vaccine, but they're not going to do much more. Why? Because the climate in the United States, which is the biggest market for vaccines, is hostile to vaccines, and they don't see a way to get a return on investment. That is a really bad precedent. And now we've heard that Sanofi is also going to abandon some of their mRNA vaccine technology. And I think that that has to do with the fact that we're in a situation where there is antipathy towards vaccines, and particularly mRNA vaccines in the United States, from the government. The same government that gave us Operation Warp Speed has now turned on mRNA vaccines under the influence of RFK Jr. So what that means is that RFK Jr. doesn't have to take away people's vaccines. He just has to make the vaccine ecosystem so hostile that companies decide they're going to invest in cancer drugs or cholesterol drugs or whatever it might be, because they've got many different public health problems, many different medical problems to conquer. And infectious disease has never been something that they've been that interested in, and they don't really get a major return on investment anyway. Now there's so many disincentives to do it. What that means is we as a species are going to be less resilient to infectious disease threats because we are leaving some of our best technologies, like mRNA vaccine technologies, on the table by choice because people don't want it. And I think when you think about what would happen if there was a new infectious disease emergency, a new pandemic, and you weren't using mRNA vaccine technology, you would be worse off. It would take longer to develop a vaccine. And that's what this precedent really, that's where it really gets scary, because what they're doing is abandoning one of the best tools that humans have discovered, not because there's actually any reason to abandon it, but because of kind of this mystical aversion to it. And I think that's really a dangerous sign of where we're heading. And as I always say, this is sort of the dark ages. These are primitive voices that are now shaping or retarding scientific progress. And I think that what Moderna and Sanofi did is not surprising, and it makes sense, but all of us are going to be worse off because of RFK Jr.